Some traditions are meant to shape us, while others, we must break free from them. It is time for you to reconnect your roots, she said over the phone. Amanda tried to give excuses, but she insists she must come to the village for Christmas. Amanda, a 20 years old city girl, has spent all her life in the city. So this Christmas, her mom insists she must come to the village for Christmas celebration and family reunion, unaware of the dark tradition that awaited her. What begins as a family reunion turned into a terrifying escape from female genital mutilation when her own mother and grandmother turned against her. Amanda must fight back with nothing but courage and her voice. Watch how one girl's resistance sparked a revolution in her village, and now she turned her pain into a mission to save others. So, Amanda set ready to travel home for Christmas, but what she did not know was that her own roots were about to strangle her. The journey was long, the road was rough, but nothing unsettled her more than the joy of seeing her mother and the thought of what awaited her in the village. As she stopped at her bus stop, she stepped out, greeted by the wave of the hot and dry air and the scent of the burning firewood. Her mother and her grandmother stood by the roadside to welcome her. Their warm embrace felt comforting. She was full of joy connecting to her mom and grandma after a long period of time. Yet, something about their tight grip made Amanda uneasy. You have grown into a fine, beautiful woman, her grandma said, smiling and cupping Amanda's face. Now, it is time for you to become one of us. Amanda smiled politely in return, but deep inside, she had no idea that the homecoming meant more than just a family reunion. It was a taste, a battle for her future, one she never saw coming, one she never expected. Amanda arrived in the village, and she was warmly welcomed by the villagers. The village buzzed with Christmas festivities as the children ran around with fireworks, the women were cooking, and the men gathered under the tree. It did not take long before Amanda got familiar with the villagers, and she laughed and danced together with them. She also went to the river to fetch water together with her fellows, as finally she felt the peace of being in the village. But slowly, she began to notice the whisper of older women. They would stop talking when she passed and stare at her, but she never minded them, and she would continue to do whatever she was doing. One night, her mother and some elderly women sat her down and talked to her about female circumcision. She told she told her it was her time, that all the women in their lineage have undergone it, and she must do it to be considered a real woman. Period to that night, Amanda overheard some whisper between her mother and some elderly women, but she ignored it. So, this is getting real, she asked. Before she could digest it, she heard some elderly women echo, the time has come. She must undergo it, just like we and our daughters all did. Tomorrow we prepare your initiation, Amanda's mother said with a smile on her face. Initiation, Amanda frowned. It is time for you to become a real woman. Tomorrow before sunrise, we will take you to the shrine for purification. It is a rite and a passage, as it has been for generation to generation, her grandma said with a smile. Amanda has stopped for a while as her blood ran cold. She have read about female genital mutilation. She have watched documentaries and news reports, but never in her wildest dream did she imagine it will come knocking at her own door. No, she said, standing. I won't do it. A heavy silence filled the room as the women exchanged glances. Amanda, do not be ungrateful, her mother said, raising her voice. Every woman in this family have undergone it. Your great-grandmother, your mother, even me. You will not be the one to shame us. Amanda said, this is my body, with her voice trembling. I will not be mutilated in the name of tradition. Amanda's heart pounded fast as she ran out of the room and went to meet her best friend Ruth and narrated the whole story to her. But as she was talking, Ruth looked away with fear in her eyes. Amanda asks, what happened at the shrine? Ruth says nothing. She just lifted up her skirt slightly, revealing a deep scar in her thigh. Amanda grips in shock as she became more confused. She ran out of fear back home. That night was the toughest night for Amanda. She could barely sleep. She knew they would try to take her by force to the shrine for circumcision. As the first light of the dawn crept into the sky, she sat on the bed, and a few minutes later, she heard footsteps outside her door. Her heart pounded more faster. Her heart pounded more faster than she could ever thought. Quickly, she grabbed her phone and sent a message to a trusted friend in the city. Please help me. They are trying to force me. If I don't reply in an hour, please call the police. My life is at stake. Just as she hit send, the door burst open. Two elderly women grabbed her arms and forced her out of her room. It is time, one of them whispered. Amanda fought, crying for help, kicking and screaming at the top of her voice. Let me go, she cried. This is illegal. I will report you to the police, but no one comes to her aid. She cried, and they kept dragging her, as the women were even more stronger than her. They dragged her towards the shrine, deep inside the forest where other guests had been led before. She kept on crying, pleading, shouting and calling her mother, but no one came to her aid, not even her own mother. And this broke Amanda's heart completely. Just as they reached the shrine, where the ritual was to be performed, Amanda's heart trembled. She sees a blade, she sees a blade glittering in the torchlight. Her breath quickens. She tries to run, to escape, but other stronger hands grip her shoulder. Just as the blade near her skin, a voice roared through the shrine. Stop! Her friend Ruth shouted from behind, and the women turned to see who was that is daring to stop them. Then she continued. Look at this, showing them the phone that was in her hand. She shouted, you are trying to mutilate her. It is an abuse. The world will see this. The world will see what you are doing. I have been videoing all along. So the women hesitated, all their grips in shock. She is threatening us. One of the elder women is. Let's continue. Others says, let her go. If the police find out, we will all be in danger. With fear in their eyes, they let go of Amanda. And immediately, Amanda struggles and breaks free. Without hesitation, she ran to the place where Ruth was standing. Ruth continued, some traditions bind us, but others we must break. Ruth said as she quickly held Amanda's hand and they ran through the thick forest. The women ran after them, but they were fast ahead of them. The news spread quickly in the community. As the village was in chaos, a large crowd gathered Amanda. Some defended the tradition, while others said if she was the first person to be mutilated. Others blamed her mother for not bringing her to the village while she was still little. Everyone was just saying whatever they want in the crowd. From the crowd, a grieving mother stepped forward with a loud voice. My daughter bled to death after her initiation. I stayed silent, but no more. We must put this to an end. Another woman said, with tears in her eyes, I have never felt the same since that day. I lost more than flesh. I lost my confidence. I lost my identity as a woman. Another said, in my community, we were told it was a tradition, a rite of passage. They told us it made us pure, that it made us women, but no one told us about the pain. No one told us about the fear. Another young girl came to Amanda and whispered in her ears that she was forced to do it last year, and now she lives in constant pain. One by one, they split out the truth. The elders could no longer deny it. The practice has stolen life, and Amanda have exposed it all. Days later, the villagers gathered in the square. The chief and some respected elders addressed the people. From this day forward, he announced, female circumcision will no longer be practiced in our community. A roar of cheers erupted. Amanda stood tall, as tears of joy flowed through her face. But she knew her mission wasn't over. She must find a way to educate the younger generation, to help those that are affected by such tradition, and to ensure that this comes to an end. Amanda realizes this is bigger than just her battle. It is a war for future generations. So, she returned back to the city. She founded an organization and named it the Daughter of the Futures Foundation, an NGO dedicated to ending female genital mutilation and educating young girls about their rights. She traveled from village to village, speaking, supporting victims, and creating change, educating young girls. With each girl she saved, she knew she had turned her pain into purpose to save a generation. She traveled from village to village, telling her story, supporting victims, educating mothers, and saving girls. As she looked out at a group of young girls listening to her as she speaks, she smiled. The battle wasn't easy. She had won, not because she had won, and because of her, no girl in that village would ever suffer the same fate again. This is not just a story. Female genital mutilation is not a culture, but silence keeps it alive. Stories like this, we must break it out. We must speak. It is, if you are a mother, an aunt, a sister, you have a voice. If you are a survivor, you have power. Break the silence. Break the cycle. Amanda's voice changed her village. Your voice can change the world. Amanda's story is a reminder that one voice can change a generation. The fight isn't over. There are still girls facing the reality today. Let's keep the conversation going. Like this video if you believe every girl deserves a choice. Comment your thoughts. What will you do in Amanda's shoe? Share this video to spread the awareness and help protect the female generation. Subscribe for more powerful stories that challenge tradition and bring Africa to change. Remember, culture should protect us, not harm us. Let's make a difference, one conversation at a time. Thank you for watching.